The Champions League is back again, and in today's video, I'm going to be giving you guys my predictions for the second leg in the round of 16 matches. In the first leg, the matches were absolutely insane. We saw some crazy upsets, we saw some wild scorelines, and in today's video, I'm going to be predicting all the scorelines for the second leg matches. As always, if you guys agree with my predictions, remember to leave a comment down below. But if you disagree with my predictions and you think there may be a few upsets here and there, remember to leave your predictions in the comments down below, and I'll be sure to reply to every single comment. So without further ado, let's get right into these predictions. Starting off with the first match on Tuesday, we have Barcelona against Benfica. In the first match where Benfica had the home advantage, Barcelona did end up winning that game 1-0, but in my opinion, Benfica definitely should have won that game. They had 26 shots in total. Barcelona had a man down as Kubarsi ended up getting a red card in the 22nd minute. And I think Benfica should have definitely scored multiple goals, but Szczesny made some incredible saves, and obviously Barcelona did end up winning that game 1-0. Now, in my opinion, it seems like Benfica really understands Barcelona's defensive tactics, as we saw them come up against each other in the league phase where Benfica played very well, but they did lose that game 5-4. And now we saw them face up again, and Benfica were very good offensively, and they definitely should have scored multiple goals. Now, with the home advantage, I do think Benfica can again take advantage of Barcelona's defense, and I do think they will be able to score in this game. But the main reason why I think Barcelona will be going through to the quarterfinals is because of their incredible attack. Rafinha, Yamal, Lewandowski are just too much for Benfica's defense. And for that reason, I do think Barcelona will win this game at home. I think it will be a very close game, but I think they're going to win 3-2. Moving on to the next match, we have Bayer Leverkusen against Bayern Munich. In the first match, I thought that Leverkusen were going to do much better against Bayern Munich because in recent matches where they've come up against each other, both this season and last season, Bayern Munich have not played well in every single one of those matches. But in this match, with the home advantage, Bayern Munich did end up winning 3-0. Obviously, I do have to mention the fact that Leverkusen did get a red card pretty early on into the second half, which was a big disadvantage. But throughout the whole game, Bayern Munich were completely dominant, and Leverkusen didn't really have much to say. But with the home advantage, I do think that Leverkusen can definitely come back from that bad performance in Munich. And in this game, I do think they will be able to win. But obviously, since Bayern did score 3 goals at home, I don't think Leverkusen will have what it takes to be able to overcome that aggregate scoreline. And for that reason, I think Leverkusen will win this game 2-1, but Bayern Munich will advance to the quarterfinals. Moving on to the next match, we have Inter Milan against Feyenoord. We saw in the first leg when Feyenoord were playing at home that Inter Milan ended up winning that game 2-0, and in my opinion, it definitely could have been more as they ended up missing a penalty. And we did see Feyenoord in that game have spells of good possession, and they did have a few good chances. But for majority of the game, Inter were very calm, very collected. They ended up getting the 2 goals, and they obviously defended very well. And in this game with the home advantage, I think it will be a very similar result. Obviously, Feyenoord did recently lose their star striker Jimenez as he went to AC Milan. But in the first leg, I expected their other attackers, like players like Paschal and even Osman, to play much better than they did. But they just didn't really perform. And now with Inter having the home advantage, I think they will win this game again 2-0. Moving on to the next match, we have Liverpool against PSG. That first leg was absolutely insane. PSG dominated for the whole 90 minutes. They had 70% possession, 27 shots, 8 shots on target. They could have easily scored 4, maybe even 5 goals. But Liverpool did a classic smash and grab. They were dominated the whole game. They defended very well, and they took their opportunity very well. They counterattacked in the 87th minute. Elliott ended up scoring a goal, and they did win that game 1-0. Now, I predicted that PSG were going to win that game, and I think they probably should have won that game. But this is the beauty of football. We can see a team dominating for the whole game, but Liverpool defensively were very well, and Alisson was playing like prime Buffon, prime Casillas. He was making save after save. In my opinion, if PSG ended up winning that first leg game, I think they would have advanced to the quarterfinals. But with Liverpool having won 1-0, now having the home advantage, if PSG could not score against Liverpool when they were playing that poorly, I just don't see them being able to do it at Anfield. And for that reason, I do think PSG will be able to score, but Liverpool will definitely perform much better than they did in that first leg. And for that reason, I think Liverpool will win this game 2-1. Moving on to the next match, we have Lille against Borussia Dortmund. We've seen Dortmund since the start of 2025 really struggle in certain games that I think they should be winning. And in that game against Lille, that was another game where they really should have played better. Now, in the second leg, Lille do have the home advantage, and I think it could go either way. I think either one of these teams have a good chance to win. I do think Borussia Dortmund are slightly the better team, but with the home advantage, honestly, this is a tough game to predict. If Borussia Dortmund play well and they're very strong defensively, I think that Lille will have trouble scoring. But obviously, since they're playing away, I think it will be much tougher for Borussia Dortmund. In my opinion, I think both of these teams will score multiple goals. I think it will end in a 2-2 draw. And I think it's going to go down to penalties, where obviously it could go either way. But I'm going to predict Borussia Dortmund to win on penalties, and Borussia Dortmund will advance to the quarterfinals. Moving on to the next match, we have Arsenal against PSV Eindhoven. In the first leg, I did predict that PSV were going to win that game 1-0. And honestly, it was probably the worst prediction I've ever made, as Arsenal ended up winning that game 7-1. And they went absolutely crazy. You guys completely shitted on me. I got roasted, I got battered, I got completely abused in the comments for getting the wrong scoreline. Now, obviously, it is a crazy mistake, but there was reasons why I thought PSV could win that game. Obviously, some of Arsenal's main attackers are currently out injured, and in recent games in the Premier League, they have not been scoring a lot of goals. So for that reason, I thought that PSV could possibly take advantage of Arsenal. But obviously their youngsters came through. They ended up scoring goals from players all across the pitch. We saw goals from Odegaard, we saw goals from defenders in Timber and Calafiori, and obviously they did end up completely shitting on PSV. Now Arsenal do have the home advantage, and I'm not going to make the mistake again. So I am going to predict that Arsenal will win this game 3-1. Moving on to the next match, we have Aston Villa against Club Brugge. In that first match, we saw Aston Villa win that game 3-1, but I think that Club Brugge could have definitely scored multiple goals. In my opinion, they had a lot of great chances, and Aston Villa did get a little bit lucky. Club Brugge were playing very well, and they were holding the scoreline at 1-1 throughout most of the game, but obviously they did end up scoring an own goal in the 82nd minute. Aston Villa got a penalty in the 88th minute, which was a little bit controversial, and they did end up winning that game 3-1, which in my opinion should have been much closer. But now they are playing at Villa Park, and in my opinion, Club Brugge have no chance of advancing. If they wanted to advance, I think they had to get a result in that first match. But now being down by 2 goals, I think it will be pretty comfortable for Aston Villa. I think Club Brugge are going to come into this game applying a lot of pressure, and they're going to obviously try and score as much as they can. But I do think Aston Villa will be able to catch them out on the counterattacks. I think Aston Villa will score multiple goals, and I think they will win this game 3-0. And finally, the last game in the round of 16 is Atletico Madrid against Real Madrid. We saw in the first leg, Real Madrid did win that game 2-1 at home, but it was a very close game. And to be honest, both teams didn't have a lot of amazing opportunities. It was mainly a battle of the midfield. Obviously, we saw the ball a lot throughout the field, but in terms of both ends, there wasn't really too much going on. Now, I did think Real Madrid were definitely the better team, and they probably could have scored another goal, but Atletico Madrid did defend very well, and obviously it did finish 2-1. Now, coming into this game, Atletico Madrid do have the home advantage, and they could definitely take advantage of Real Madrid. Now, Diego Simeone will definitely go into this game wanting the win, and I think his team will play very rough. But Real Madrid in the Champions League, they're just a different type of gravy. They're too good, and honestly, they could win this whole thing 100%. We've seen it in recent years where they struggle in certain group stage games or in certain knockout stage games, and then they end up winning the whole thing. And I think that will happen again. I think Real Madrid will still be able to win this game, and I think it will be another 2-1 win for them. And that is the end of this video. Those were my Champions League predictions for the second leg in the round of 16 games. If you guys agree with my predictions, remember to leave a comment down below. But if you disagree with my predictions and you think there may be a few upsets here and there, remember to leave your predictions in the comments down below, and I'll be sure to reply to every single comment. As always, if you did enjoy this video and you're excited for the quarterfinals, remember to leave a like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and stay tuned for more videos.